Okay, people. What? This is episode 95.
It is.
Of the Wrestling Rundown, which means I should go out and buy some lube.
Yeah, we're getting close.
We are getting very close.
Episode 100?
Yeah. And you don't want to know what I have planned.
But if you
I
watch,
don't want to know what he has planned.
If you watch previous episodes, you know what's planned.
Yeah, but specifics, you don't.
No.
You know, the general idea that Thomas Wolfe is going to fuck himself.
Yeah. But until...
Won't be nearly as fun as Edge and Lita.
Until then, it's time to review some Raw.
Yeah. Night after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So talk about a raucous crowd.
Yes.
We've been there personally.
It is a crazy crowd to be a part of.
Yeah, we've been there, me and Mr. Colt have been there personally. This time last year. We were there in California.
Yes. This one in Dallas,
I
Texas.
can kind of be appreciative that we weren't in Texas, though.
God. Yeah.
I feel like I would not get along with a lot of the people.
Probably not.
Despite the fact that most of the people going to Raw wouldn't be Texans, they'd be the people from other countries and whatnot who got the WrestleMania travel packages.
Yeah.
Like we did.
Yes. So, we're from Oregon and not a different country. So, we had the New Day retain the tag team titles over the League of Nations. We had Sasha Banks defeat Summer Rae. We had Apollo Crews debut and defeat Tyler Breeze.
Woo!
We had Baron Corbin defeat Dolph Ziggler. We had The Miz defeat Zack Ryder to become the new Intercontinental Champion.
One thing I was happy about at WrestleMania.
Like, legitimately, if you go back and watch my recap of WrestleMania at the very end, when I talked about how little of positive outcomes there were of the actual matches themselves, the one thing I noted is that the big positive outcome was the fact that Zack Ryder became the new Intercontinental Champion, and then they robbed it from us the next night.
But don't worry, the Dudleys beat the Usos in a tables match.
That had a funny thing that we could talk about.
But then, AJ Styles defeated Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens.
Sami Zayn by forfeit.
We're just not talking about that yet. It wasn't Sami Zayn, it was Cesaro in a fatal four-way.
Yeah, like, Sami Zayn is in the people he beat by forfeit.
Because he technically...
Okay, so he beat four guys. Yeah. Fuck it. AJ Styles defeated Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, and Cesaro in a fatal four-way match to become the number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
So we can jump back into like the structure and talk about like in an order. I just want to mention, since we've already said it, they found the one way to make me slightly unhappy with AJ Styles being number one contender.
Because he beat Cesaro?
Yeah, by bringing Cesaro back and putting him as the mystery entrant in this fatal four-way match, and then having AJ go over.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we can circle back around. I just wanted to note that.
So yeah, the Sasha Banks, Apollo Crews, those were just kind of there.
Yeah.
Apparently Apollo Crews is on the main roster now.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
Baron Corbin touted his Battle Royal win, and then him and Ziggler went to a no countout, and then he hit the end of days on Ziggler on the inside.
And if this is a feud that they're building, that is going to be awesome.
It's going to be really good for Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Because the one thing where I feel like they slipped up with bringing Tyler Breeze up to the main roster is not establishing him in a rivalry with any big-time superstar.
Yeah, it was,
right off the bat.
The Dolph Ziggler thing.
Yeah, they did the Dolph Ziggler thing that was marred up by the fact that Summer Rae was involved.
Oh, yeah.
And
it was all off of the Rusev.
Yeah, and it was that storyline was a side project off of a different storyline where Baron Corbin coming in, he gets to come in and actually like run a program with Dolph Ziggler. If that happens, that's going to be good because that's going to establish Baron Corbin even more.
Yeah.
Plus, Dolph is like the guy who's best at highlighting the thing that Baron Corbin does best.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it looked good. It looked effective. And Baron Corbin has really come into being a heel. We talked about how good he did against Austin Aries at TakeOver. He played the heel role very well, and he's finally kind of got the grasp of it. So, hey, I'm cool with it. He won the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Now he's on Raw.
Can I talk about the tables match?
Yes, you can talk about the tables match.
All right.
And then you can talk about what happened after the tables match.
I like it.
Okay, so the tables match wasn't anything
Garbage.
atypical from a normal tables match.
Garbage.
It was they're wrestling around.
Normal table
And
match.
This was worse than normal table matches. This was garbage. I found no entertainment in this match whatsoever.
It was just, you
Except
know,
for Bubba throwing the table at the beginning.
yeah, it's just a lot of like, you know, okay, let's set up for a spot through a table, and then either get countered or miss, or somebody moves the table. A lot of, you know, okay, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that, over and over and over again. And then the Usos end up setting the Dudley Boys up for the double Superfly Splash through 2 tables. And here's where the match gets the highlight of the entertainment, though, is that the Usos jump off, but both the Dudleys roll off their tables, so the Usos crash through, and the bell rings, and Lillian starts to announce that the winners are the Dudley Boys, but before she can do that, Devon yanks up, I think, Jay Uso, and hurls him through a table that's been set up in the corner early on in the match.
Bubba.
And Bubba then throws a fucking tantrum.
Yeah.
Which, now you ring the bell! Now we won!
Well,
now you announce it!
I like how the commentators didn't say anything about the screwy ending until Bubba started yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then JBL was like, yeah, we had an early bell ring.
Yeah, because, you know, you have to specify that you only win the tables match by physically putting your opponent through a table, not them putting themselves through a table, or a lot of other tables matches would have had screwy endings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have been nearly as funny, because it'd be like, here, I'm just going to wait here until he tries to dive, and then fuck it. And then
it would have made for an interesting ending in one specific Hardy's versus Dudley's table match that I can remember, where Jeff was about to go through the table, so Matt dove through the table himself.
And it would have just fucked him over.
Yeah.
And that would have just been hilarious.
Oh, God. Yeah. But luckily, this shit show was saved.
By Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy making their debut on Raw, and just walking straight past Bubba and Devon.
Yeah, Bubba and Devon just, like, they were walking up the... Because they were still pissed off. Just, like, yelling stuff. And they made their way back up. Enzo and Cass just walk right by. And the Dudleys are like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
And, yeah, so we get the Enzo and Cass, the usual stuff in the ring. And then they turn their attention to the Dudley Boys.
Yeah. That...
Enzo making a comment about Devon's lazy eye.
And Bubba's receding hairline.
Yeah. Devon got way more offended than Bubba did.
Oh, yeah.
Bubba had to hold Devon back.
Devon called them son of a bitch twice.
Yeah. And so are we looking at a Enzo and Cass Dudley feud?
Yeah.
Or
I'm okay with that.
What it's gonna lead into is like 2 teams from the Northeast who are both prime trash talking tag teams. Yeah. Because we know that the Dudley Boys are not shy when it comes to verbally insulting their opponents. So you have that, and then Enzo and Cass, who, I mean, that's just part of their shtick, is that they get to run down their opponents. So I think that even if the matches aren't that great, you're at least going to get a lot of good verbal exchanges.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm just counting down the days till we get Enzo and Cass versus New Day.
Well, before we get, we'll talk about the New Day thing. We'll keep with the tag team thing here. But before we get to the New Day's match against the League of Nations, we have 2 tag teams making their way to the roster and back to the roster. Because this Thursday on SmackDown...
Back to the future.
No. Well, technically. Because this Thursday on SmackDown... Well, technically, the Vaudevillains are making their debut on SmackDown. And they're an old-timey team in a new-timey era. So, they've been...
Take that for what you
So,
want.
it's an old-timey team that have been in the future on NXT, and now they're moving to their new future, which is the main roster. So, they're going back to the future.
Look,
and
the villains are debuting. That's awesome.
Yes. And then we also have finally, instead of the Los Matadores gimmick, we have the Colognes making their return to the tag team division.
Which was just done through a very nice greetings from Puerto Rico.
Which was more so, hey, Puerto Rico's way better than America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
That's going to be the hardest to get over. Like, it's funny when you have groups like the League of Nations do it. Because they're all big, intimidating guys.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like, usually when we vilify somebody from another country, they're from another country that's not, like, near our country.
Yeah.
You know, vilifying Russian characters, French characters like La Resistance, and whatnot. But, like, not Puerto Rico, which is, like, just off the coast in the south.
I want their whole thing not to be like, Puerto Rico's better than America, but Puerto Rico's better than Spain.
And then they feud with the Matadors.
I just think that would be the funniest.
That'd blow my fucking mind.
Either that or they...
You think Titus O'Neil's gonna get really confused when he comes back and there's no more Puerto Rican bullfighters? But there's two guys that sound a lot like the Puerto Rican bullfighters?
I hope Titus O'Neil gets confused when he comes back and tries to touch Vince again.
Then he gets fired.
What if Titus O'Neil gets confused when he comes back and wanders into TNA?
That suits him better.
I wouldn't miss him.
He'll be champion in a week.
Ha!
Drew McIntyre's the champ right now, so
He'll be like the fake legends.
Drew McIntyre won't be.
The Legends of Television champion of the future.
Moving on.
Division.
Let's stick with this tag team thing. We had the New Day defending the tag team titles against the League of Nations, since the League of Nations beat them the night before on WrestleMania.
Yep. So League of Nations chooses the guy who won the match, Sheamus, and the guy who would technically be the freshest member because he didn't wrestle in the match at Mania, Wade Barrett.
Yep. And they would take on Big E and Kofi,
the normal, typical New Day tag team champions.
Xavier Woods had a tiny little trumpet. It was like Francesca Jr.
When a mommy trombone and a daddy Super Saiyan monkey twerker fall in love, it happens. You get baby trombones.
All right.
Francesca Jr.
Okay.
She's a boy. Trombone, by the way.
I feel sorry for that kid. Or that trombone. It was a good match, though.
Yeah.
A very, very entertaining match.
Yeah, I loved all the stuff Wade Barrett did.
I believe
with the New Day.
I believe that baby trombones are known as pups.
Bones? Trump-ups?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. Jam.
God. So the New Day ended up retaining. Barrett got knocked into Sheamus, which allowed a Big E.
Didn't Sheamus fall on Rusev too?
Rusev and Del Rio on the outside.
Just
Sheamus took them all out. And so that left Barrett in the ring to get hit with the Midnight Hour. And the tag team champions stay the tag team champions. But then we had Sheamus, along with Rusev and Del Rio, made an executive decision as far as the League of Nations' future is concerned.
Sheamus has got on the mic, and I don't usually go out of my way to talk about Sheamus things, but Sheamus got on the mic and said, basically, look at the four of us. We're all big. We're all intimidating. We're all former champions.
So far, you are correct.
We're all intimidating guys who, by all means, should be dominating. We should be beating up everybody on the roster.
Especially in the tag team division.
Yeah. But we're not. So we have to weed out the fat. We have to...
So they kicked out the skinniest guy.
So, like, basically, Sheamus is like, the group is only as strong as the weakest member, so we have to get rid of the weakest member and then officially announce his retirement.
No, he didn't announce his retirement. Oh. They actually kicked Wade Barrett out of the League of Nations.
By literally kicking him in the face.
Yes, but this was...
Talk about a metaphor come to life.
This was immediately responded to by the Wyatt family, who beat the high holy hell out of the 3 remaining League of Nations members.
Yeah, they just did the little thing, and then the lights came back on, and the Wyatt family were already in the ring beating them up.
Yeah. Like, there was no pause. It was real quick.
Yeah.
They must have been under the ring or something. Yeah, they just beat the shit out of them. And so now...
And then, like, Bray Wyatt just kind of sat there and basked in the adulation.
Yeah. So, did The Rock...
That's my theory.
Did The Rock secretly help the Wyatt family at Mania?
The Rock talking about the fact that Bray Wyatt's got the charisma and the ability, and the ability, and the ability and the charisma, and the beards.
He's got it all.
Basically gave Bray Wyatt the courage to maybe try and take the Wyatt family for a face turn.
Well...
And no better way to make me think you're a babyface than attacking Sheamus.
Yeah.
For me, it was beating up Del Rio.
Babyface.
Yeah, like, that's my
heart.
top two, is beating up Sheamus, beating up Del Rio.
I felt bad for Rusev.
Only thing I would have preferred, more so than any of this, is maybe if Rusev and Del Rio would have left the ring, and, like, Miz and Ryback would have gotten the ring.
Yeah. Oh, man, I just realized what made this episode Raw really good. We didn't have Ryback.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that weren't on Raw.
Do we want to talk about the sad stuff real quick? Get it out of the way.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah. We got to do it. It's part of the show.
Zack Ryder lost the Intercontinental title.
All in the most...
This is a really wacky...
Just the most bizarre, like... It made sense at first because Zack Ryder comes out and he's talking about how awesome it is that, when he was a kid, he took a picture with Razor Ramon and he got to hold the Intercontinental title. And then the night before Wrestlemania, he got to take a picture with Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Razor Ramon holding his Intercontinental title.
I saw the picture.
And it was really cool. And it was...
Here's the picture, maybe.
Yeah, if we can find it, it's up there right now. So it's really cool that Zack Ryder got to do that. And he starts thanking his dad, who's in the front row, who got to celebrate with him at Mania. And it was a nice moment that was ruined by The Miz, which is good for The Miz because he's a heel.
Yeah.
But it's just like every other moment that The Miz is in because The Miz ruins everything.
Yeah, exactly, including his own talk segment. So this ends up turning into a match, and the match is decent. It was, Zack Ryder was whooping on The Miz, so it was fun.
Yeah.
But then we get to a point where Miz has the advantage, and he's yelling at Zack Ryder's dad. And
outside.
And he actually he kept poking Zack Ryder's dad in the chest. So Zack Ryder's dad shoved Miz down, and Miz is like, "Why would you do that? I'm gonna get back to my match." But there was no one more offended than Maurice, the Miz's wife.
Yeah.
Makes her way from behind the commentary table like she fucking owns the place.
And there was a security guard who followed her, but it wasn't a very good security guard.
No, she's just like, "What are you doing?" Just walked over.
Yeah.
So Maurice slaps Zack Ryder's dad. This distracts Zack Ryder, who gets hit with the skull-crushing finale, and The Miz becomes the new Intercontinental Champion.
Boo.
Silver lining that I'm hoping they just switch it right back.
Yeah.
Zack Ryder did invoke his rematch clause, and we'll get an Intercontinental title match on SmackDown. But from the graphic, it looks like Maurice is back on the roster, and she is she's in the Miz's corner.
Like, even if they have Ryder win, maybe Eve's gonna come back.
No, man.
Zack Ryder's
Nah, man. I'm telling you right now, we are gonna get the WWE equivalent of Beulah versus Fonzie. We're gonna get Zack Ryder's dad versus Maurice in Extreme Rules.
No, I think right now would be the best time for them to do one of the cooler things that I like that WWE does when they start blurring the lines between kayfabe and reality, and we get Emma.
Ooh,
Who's been Emma, who recently ends up on the main roster for what seemed like no other reason other than to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That would
Here's
kind
a
of
good
down her
reason.
heel character, though.
Yeah, but here's
doesn't
a good
agree.
reason. It makes
She's
it a
making
good
the
reason
transition.
that they brought her
Yeah,
up
okay,
other than to be
yeah.
in the match.
Yeah, they might accept.
But here's my issue with this. Even if Ryder wins the title back, they did this same thing with Kalisto winning the U.S. title.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. Well,
Yeah, it's just, I mean, let's be real. Let's take the one awesome ending of a match from Mania and then pee on it.
Jesus.
By having Zack Ryder lose to one of the least popular people.
Adding the Miz to anything is like adding a liter of urine.
I mean, really, I think the only thing that would have got a worse reaction from the crowd is if Roman Reigns would have come out and done it. Just to become a double champion.
Roman Reigns is the guy who helps the Miz win the title.
Oh, God. It's Roman Reigns as Maurice. Really?
It's Roman Reigns in a blonde wig.
Yeah.
I believe it.
No, I mean, I think, like, the other one, like, thing that I could hope is a little sugarcoat to this thing is if Maurice, like, does get back onto the roster and not just as Mrs. Valet.
Yeah.
Not to say that, like, Maurice was ever a great wrestler, but she's somebody people recognizes.
Yeah.
She's a former women's champion. Divas champion. She's a former
Trans champion.
She's a former champion of that division.
Yeah.
She won the Jeff Hardy belt, too.
Yeah.
And,
Yay.
you know, and it's always cool to have more.
Yeah.
You know, not to say, I mean, the Divas division, women's division, is getting a little crowded on the main roster. That's
okay.
always a good thing because we like having 2 or 3 women's matches on a show.
Yeah.
Let's use that as a transition, and we'll talk about the official presentation of the WWE Women's Championship. Lita had almost all of the Divas roster out there. A few people missing. You know, Brie, not really sure if this was her official retirement.
Yeah, she announced that she was retiring soon.
Yeah. A lot of people were speculating that it was
gonna-
going to be Mania or the night after.
Yeah, I'm going to say that it was Mania that she's gone after that.
Possibly. But yeah, I mean, we had every other female wrestler that was at Mania the night before out in the ring. And, you know, Lita said a speech about, you know, all of the people that, you know, she wrestled with and you know, how it's so awesome to have the women's championship and women's wrestling being the forefront. So Charlotte got to accept her championship, and she had a great speech.
Yeah.
You know, she was really putting over the fact that, all these women, you know, put their bodies on the line the night before, and they got to show what they were made of, and now women's wrestling is being recognized, and the crowd's cheering. And then we have Charlotte flip it. You know, the one person she thanks for the whole thing is her dad, because if it wasn't for Ric Flair, she wouldn't be champion. And this starts to infuriate all of the other women.
And they leave.
Everybody leaves. Like, Sasha's the first one. She jumps out. She's done. We got women exiting every side of the ring. And then Natty has a microphone and tells Charlotte, yeah, sure, you've beat me before, but you still don't respect me. And I'm the one that's taking you to the limit in some of your most grueling matches, like the one we had at Roadblock, which was a fantastic match, one of the best matches on that card. And so then it's once again that duel of genetics. You got the heart, you have the heart training versus the Flair family. Yeah. So we're starting to reignite the issues between these two, and Charlotte didn't exactly expect to wind up in the sharpshooter, but she did, and luckily her dad was there to save her again, and she got pulled out of the ring. So I think we're heading towards a one-on-one between these two at Extreme Rules, or are we going to see this in a couple weeks on TV?
I'm gonna say Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules?
I'm gonna hope.
Think so? Well, regardless, that should be a fun match. I'm glad that this whole women's division thing is happening. This is fantastic. Way better than that garbage that we left behind just before WrestleMania started. Alright, so now we'll talk about the big overarching storyline, which opened up with Vince McMahon coming out and saying that, he knew that Shane was going to fail at WrestleMania. He had The Undertaker. There was no way he was going to do it. And, granted, they didn't exactly get everything they wanted because Triple H lost to Roman Reigns, but we'll deal with that at a later time. But he's about to leave, says that, hey, this Raw is going to be something that you'll never forget. Shane's music hits. Shane makes his way out, and all he wants to do is he wants to shake Vince's hand. He's like, you know what? We're McMahons. This is what we do. We do things face-to-face, out open. So I want to shake your hand and say, congratulations, you won. He also wants to say thank you to the crowd for the reactions that he's been getting since his return. and the crowd starts chanting, "Let him run it." And Vince is like, I told you this is a weird crowd, and they keep making all this noise, and he's so convinced that Raw is going to go to complete shit if Shane runs it. He's like, it would have been nonsensical for you to run it, but you know what? Just to prove my point, you can run Raw tonight.
Yeah.
And Shane was like, okay, I can do that. So Shane is in fact in charge of Monday Night Raw. And so the one big decision that Shane made stemmed from Roman Reigns coming out talking about his title win the night before, saying that this was probably the best thing Roman Reigns has done in a long time, saying, I'm not the good guy, I'm not the bad guy, I am the guy. You know, touting the fact that he is the champion, and he's planning on taking on any challenger, doesn't matter who it is.
So we're going to have the Roman Reigns WWE Championship Invitational Open Challenge.
No.
Every week on Raw.
No.
Like John Cena did with the U.S. Championship.
How many times do I have to say no before you stop?
No, it's every week on SmackDown.
No, it's every week on Superstars. No, none of that shit happened. We had Chris Jericho come out and say
every week on Sunday Night Heat.
That show doesn't exist, so it ain't happening.
That's why he's going to retain the title every time.
No, he's going to do it on a show that doesn't exist.
He's going to do it on that and Shotgun Saturday Night.
And Velocity. Jericho makes his way down and says that, you know, he's not asking, he's not telling, he's demanding that he gets a shot at the WWE Championship. You know, he's Chris Jericho. He's the best in the world at what he does. Do you understand what he's saying to you right now? I beat AJ Styles. And then AJ comes out and he's like, no, I should probably get a shot. And Kevin Owens is like, no, I should get a shot. And Sami Zayn's like, fuck you, I want to get a shot.
And
so then,
these people,
everybody wants to take shots.
Yeah. So then we have these four guys, two different feuds, to start whooping the shit out of each other. And Roman's just like, okay, I'm just going to watch this happen.
Yeah, that was weird.
We
all want a shot at the champion, so stand back while we beat each other up.
And so Jericho ultimately proved his dominance because he's the last one standing in the ring, but he turns around right into a Roman Reigns spear.
No longer being dominant.
No, not dominant whatsoever. Roman Reigns walks away, and Shane McMahon makes a fatal four-way for the main event. That being Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles.
Versus...
No. But during a backstage interview, Renee talked to most of the competitors in this match. I think the only one she didn't talk to was Jericho.
Yeah.
But she was talking to Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn was talking about being Sami Zayn and being the fact that he just came up from NXT and he was champion down there and he's gonna do it here. Blah blah blah. He ends up getting attacked by Kevin Owens and powerbombed through a table in the back.
And he's like, that's how you win a table match, you stupid.
Yeah, this is right after the Dudley Boys match, so we made some funny comments towards that.
We had fun. So Zayn is out of the match.
Yeah, Zayn is not medically cleared.
He is so injured from that powerbomb through the table.
He died.
It was piled on top of the ladder shots and the Nakamura shots.
Yeah, I
think
think
too much.
The Nakamura is really what did it.
It's just 4 straight days. He's like, man, I had a long day at Access on Saturday. I just sit next to the Iron Sheik at the Hall of Fame. It was just a real rough.
No, what it
weekend.
was like after he wrestled Nakamura, he wasn't medically cleared
to do anything.
No, but he just kept going, and they were finally like, Zayn, seriously.
Yeah, Zayn didn't even wrestle at Mania. That was actually a skinny Seth Rogen.
That's why he didn't win.
Yeah.
Huh.
Seth Rogen's trying out Sami Zayn's moves.
So at this point, now the graphic is one question mark, like who's going to take this spot?
And there are so many viable people.
Yeah.
Coming off of Mania, you could have Dean, who would be a fan-pleasing choice. Brock won his match. Could work. Taker, despite the fact that you wouldn't expect it to be him, but he won his match.
John Cena.
Cena, who just made an appearance. There's so many different things coming out of Mania that would have made sense to put in this spot. But I think better than all those is who it ended up actually being.
Yes. Yeah. So Shane was on top of it, had a replacement, ready, and it is
The honky tonk man.
It's Cesaro. We said that earlier.
Oh yeah. Damn it.
We already ruined your stupid joke.
Yeah, we said that at the top of the thing, that Cesaro...
It was Shaquille O'Neal. Right?
Yeah. Cesaro O'Neal.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, at least it's some guy who's big and bald.
It was the Swiss Superman, Cesaro,
King
making his return. So exciting.
Yeah.
And this match was fantastic.
Yeah.
First time Cesaro and AJ have wrestled.
Yes. Yeah, we did some research before we did this, and as far as we can tell, they have never competed against each other.
Yeah, they've never crossed paths in any major promotion.
They never even met before.
Yeah, I felt
That's
like
possible.
To kind of add on to that, I felt like the way some of the spots in the match went is I do feel like maybe springing Cesaro on them was a bit of surprise.
Yeah.
And they had to do a lot of calling the match by ear rather than pre-working any
Jericho
backstage.
had worked against Cesaro before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of them worked against. Owens has.
I think
plenty of times, too.
AJ was the oddball.
Well,
But it's just the way it was is it didn't seem like a match that they had talked about backstage and like pre-worked out.
That's fine with these four because they're guys who can adapt really well.
Yes.
I mean, you have damn near a century of experience between the three of them.
Yeah.
Four of them.
And they all, everyone just had such good spots, and the fact that three of them had wrestled the night before, especially Owens in the ladder match, and then you have fresh Cesaro just comes in. He got to run roughshod through most of this match. He was hitting all types of European uppercuts.
Most of this match was, hey guys, remember how awesome Cesaro is?
Yeah, and we remembered how awesome Cesaro was.
And if it wasn't cool enough, the fact that the mostly European crowd was around to do all their fun chants and stuff.
Yeah.
That they got a surprise guy who they absolutely go ape shit over.
Yeah. And the best part of this is that every time I felt like the crowd couldn't have been disappointed about who won this.
Yeah.
Because every time someone got pinned, they would kick out and they'd go, yeah, boo.
The only person that I would have been kind of disappointed at this point would have been Chris Jericho.
Yeah, obviously he deserves it less.
I would have been like, hey, that's cool.
That's how we initially felt like when he came out to face Roman Reigns. We're like, really? We do Reigns versus Jericho?
Yeah.
For me, it makes sense from a booking decision because he's the only guy that came out of WrestleMania with a win.
It would have made enough sense to me. Plus, Jericho's, depending on what they want to do with Roman going forward, Jericho's a guy who could potentially, more so than anyone else, get Roman over as a face.
Possibly. No. It ended up being, with a Styles clash on Chris Jericho, AJ Styles is the number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So,
yay.
Extreme Rules, Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles.
Maybe. Could be next week on Raw.
Probably not.
Well, we don't know. The authority's back in charge, so.
Unless it goes a little crazy. He's like, Shane, you're running Raw, right?
Again? What do you say?
You're running
so well last time.
You're running SmackDown.
Dads and wives were getting involved in shit.
Yeah. Felt like the Attitude Era all over again. Keep at it, son.
Yeah.
Thought
Get
it wasn't
some
your son.
blood and tits.
An interesting Raw.
Raw was fun.
It was. See, WrestleMania was weird by a booking standpoint. This was weird by we have all of these people now.
Yeah.
So half the NXT roster came up, and we have the Vaudevilles debuting on Thursday. There's a lot of stuff going on post WrestleMania.
I want to know what this means for NXT going forward.
Well, luckily we have a lot of guys still in NXT.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys coming up because you had a lot of guys at Access who aren't who are wrestling at Access who aren't big time
I don't think
players on TV yet.
I'm not worried about NXT having a shortage of people because there's always going to be new guys coming in.
Yeah, you're just wondering what it means.
Yeah, Cruz was looking like he was going to be the next star of NXT.
Yeah, Cruz, I think they could bypass because you think about all the talent they have now, especially with over the weekend they officially signed Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So you add that to Samoa Joe, Finn Balor,
Yeah.
Austin Aries. You've got a good group of guys down there for sure.
No, but it's, Cruz looked like he was going to be the next guy.
Right,
He was being groomed for that. Corbin and Aries, I thought they were going to do more.
I did too.
The Vaudevillains hadn't really been doing a whole lot.
Yeah, Vaudevillains makes sense. I don't think there was a way that they really could have interjected them back into the fold. So them moving up is a good
Enzo and Cass,
we knew they were going.
Yeah. But,
Hey, it's happening. And we'll see what this means. Because, we got brand new...
I'm just glad it makes room for all the new talent.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Good luck with spring cleaning this year, WWE.
Chris Gerard, Rich Swann.
Yeah.
Friggin' Tino Sabatelli. A lot of guys.
He doesn't do anything for me. But.
Yeah, while he's listing wrestlers, go ahead and click those links.
Yep, and like, comment, and subscribe. Comment, what was your favorite part of Raw? What do you think about all these NXT guys coming up? And what do you think we're going to be heading into Extreme Rules, which will be somewhere towards the beginning of May, I believe. Maybe the end of May? Middle of May? Yeah. Something like that. Sometime in May.
Did they say to like, comment, and subscribe? Sorry, I was listening to wrestlers in my head. He said, "Why list wrestlers?" I just
literally I was talking about commenting like what to.
Oh well,
he said
also, I'm just gonna put it out there because we talked about it at the end of Wrestlemania video. We're gonna be launching a second YouTube page.
Yeah, currently unnamed.
In the near future.
We got a few ideas.
I don't know. Did we decide on that one name?
We got a couple promising ones.
Okay.
But if you guys
won't reveal it yet.
If you guys have any input on creative name for a second channel, go ahead and comment.
Brittany, I know you're watching. Comment if you'd be. What types of videos would you be interested in seeing?
A second channel, and it's not going to be anything like this channel. No. It's not going to be a review-based channel like this. We're going to bring back Fantasy Warfare like we used to do back in the beginning.
In a much different
it's going to be a completely different format.
It's been a lot of fun.
We're already recording stuff, so it's not going to be a waiting game when the channel pops open.
Yeah.
And each of us are going to have our own little niche, unique videos.
Yeah. So we'll probably bring in a lot of guests too, whenever we can.
Yeah. And so that you can expect to start seeing stuff like that, plus a website so you can get a hold of all of the stuff, including all of our social medias. That'll be all popping up right around.
A lot of the backlogged videos.
Yeah. Yes, that'll all be popping up right around episode 100. So
100.
Not only
popping around.
Yeah, only are you going to be getting Thomas Wolfe fucking himself, but you get a whole lot more content too. That might be a video on the new channel.
Yeah.
You never know. But thanks for watching.
Maybe on the website alone.
That's on the YouTube Red extension.
Check out the playlist. Post WrestleMania week, we're gonna have our usual reviews. Check out our WrestleMania review. It's really fucking long. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Yeah.
Fuck Alex Riley.
I'm glad he didn't come up from NXT.
Fuck Sheamus.
He's still on the main roster.
Fuck Money Baby.
Gross.
Fuck Jim Cornette.